Alright folks, we've got Margaret back in the chair. I've towel dried a little bit, so I wanted to show you a little bit of what I did with her hair. I just have the towel wrapped around it. I know a lot of us, especially fine hair that really likes to have a lot of volume, we want to get as much moisture out of our hair before we add product. That will help not dilute the product. But with Margaret's hair, I want to absorb a lot of that moisture because of her density, so I'm just letting it soak in a towel a little bit, which is fine. I know a lot of us ladies like to throw it up on our head, and that's fine. I just want to make sure that when you are squeezing that water out, everything is in a downward motion as you are working toward her ends. So you can kind of see that Margaret still has quite a bit of tangling in the hair. You can definitely see all that. Again, I'm taking some stills so you can get a closer look at it. But she still has quite a bit of tangling going on. It doesn't seem quite as bad up through here. Of course, she didn't have any here, but you can see this section here is a little tangled, and then it gets a little bit more towards her ends, of course, because again, this is the driest, saddest hair on all our head. So we're going to make it happy. So I've gotten in there and removed a lot of that moisture with the towel. It's amazing, these little towels, how much they absorb. I know a lot of people are really on board with the t-shirt method, using a cotton t-shirt to absorb moisture, and that's real nice and gentle on the hair too. I enjoy doing that at home myself. So okay, next thing we're going to do is prep. We're going to add some product in here. I know I've mentioned my Silkening oil treatment. It's one of my favorite go-to products for all hair types, both for protecting, mostly for protecting, and a little bit of restoring and smoothness. So Margaret's density, she gets a pretty healthy portion of that. Again, focus all product applying on the back side of the hair where we're thickest. I think in 23 years I've only met 1 or 2 clients that are actually thicker on top or ears forward than they are in density per square inch in the back. This will save so much product in the long run, but again, mid-length and ends is what needs these products the most. So I tend to start in the back and kind of squeeze it onto the hair, but again, working in a downward motion. Make sure you're really getting that absorption in there. If you need to separate the hair a bit to make sure you're getting it everywhere, that's fine. And all this motion, this downward motion, is to be pulling as many tangles out before we actually get to brushing the hair. After we film today, we have Skills Day through our Hog chapter, and Margaret and I are going to be running out there and practicing and supporting. So I'm not going to actually let Margaret leave wet, so I'm actually going to do a little bit of styling too, so you get to see what her lovely hair looks like once it's done and round brushed and beautiful. But keeping that in mind, I am going to use a little bit of a smoothing and straightening product on her hair also. That will aid me later when I'm round brushing her hair. A lot of times I like to apply my product before I brush it out. I think when we brush product through our hair, we get much better distribution that way, and we use less product that way. Alright, if you don't have a wet brush, get a wet brush. These brushes are amazing. We've always been told don't brush our hair wet. We use picks, we use combs. Those are all fine, but with the nature of some of these tangles, the hair can break real easy. It's in a pretty fragile state. Hair is fragile anyway, especially one strand at a time. Multiple strands is pretty strong. 1 or 2, where a lot of these tangles like to go, that hair will break where that stress point is, or that tangle. So get yourself a wet brush. These brushes are fantastic. Always start brushing on your ends. Even if you didn't take a ride, this is just your normal shampoo routine. Start on these ends and work your way up the hair shaft. By starting on the ends, you're slowly taking tangles out and working up. If you start up here and you brush, you're compacting all those tangles, and you'll end up in the mid-length here with this huge ratted mess, and it's so much more damaging to the hair and will cause a lot more breakage. So I like to get in there and start on the ends and work my way up. Now it'll be interesting to see how much dripping Margaret does. I hope you guys can see that where we're filming, but it's interesting how much moisture tangles hold on to. So even though just standing here she's not dripping, as I comb through she's going to start dripping, and I'll grab my towel and absorb some, because they just hold on to that water. Now if your hair is super thick like Margaret's, it's fine to get in here and take a section. Doesn't have to be perfect. Try not to kill your person or yourself. She's definitely got some road tangles. Take a section, get some of this out of your way. Working in sections is so much easier for me. So again, I'm going to work on my ends. And don't move up the hair shaft until these tangles are out first. Again, the goal is to not compact and make more tangles. And I don't know how this wet brush works, but it's working beautifully. Obviously, getting these tangles right out for me.
It's definitely not pulling like a regular brush.
Good, good, good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, again, I think I wrote this in the blog post. I don't know how these work. I really don't. I don't know why this brush is so much more amazing than any other brush I've used ever. But it does. It doesn't break the hair. It doesn't pull. It gently detangles. They're absolutely fantastic. All right, you can see how we're gliding through this section real nicely now. Nice and tangle-free, smooth, no breakage, wasn't painful. Next section. Again on these, starting on the ends. Working my way up. Interesting, Margaret seems to be a little bit more tangled right here than anywhere else on our head so far. I like to save the best for last. Once we have our tangles removed, then we can go through the whole piece.
My hair has never detangled that quickly.
Good, good. Perfect. All right, as you can see, her tangles are removed. The hair is smooth. There is no breakage, no pulling. It happened quickly and effortlessly. And again, everything that we were doing doesn't necessarily remove all your tangles, obviously, but it really makes the detangling process a whole lot easier. So just to touch base real quick, shampoo the scalp, manipulations in a downward motion, condition mid-length and ends, also manipulations in a downward motion. You're towel drying the hair by gently squeezing in a downward motion. And then when you brush the tangles out with your wet brush, this is the only brush you can brush wet hair with, you start on the ends and work your way up the hair shaft. So I think we've got it all covered. I'm going to blow dry Margaret's hair for her so I don't send her out the door dripping wet, and we'll actually are going to focus on some segments in the future on styling and different things that you can do with your hair while you're riding. But for today we just wanted to work on tangling and detangling. So you feel good?
Yep.
Excellent. Hey everyone, I just wanted you to see real quick Margaret's finished result thus far. I went in there and just round brushed her curls smooth a little bit because we're going to actually be braiding it here in a few minutes because we're going to Skills Day. We're going to be doing some riding this afternoon and I want to protect her hair. But I just wanted to show everybody that her hair is finished. It's nice and smooth. I'm detangling through it real nice and easily just with my fingers. Just nice and finished. Got a quick blow dry, lots of fun, lots of laughter, had a good time. Get your wet brush. Be sure to have everything in a downward motion when you're shampooing and conditioning so you can keep that hair nice and healthy and no breakage. Thanks everyone for tuning in.